This is Shawn Green. Thanks for tuning into the Online Zone on Card Player TV. This is the Online Poker Weekend Recap. This weekend there was some big news on PokerStars, Full Tilt, and Ultimate Bet. The Full Tilt Sunday Majors final table had an all-star winner, and Ultimate Bet's tournament broke a record. Well, let's get to those later on the show, but first let's talk about PokerStars. PokerStars had a huge day on Sunday, but it wasn't all about the Sunday Million. The site's incredibly successful Sunday 100 Grand Tournament, a $100,000 guaranteed event with an $11 buy-in, broke an already impressive record. The first run of the tournament had an entry cap of 15,000, which it easily met and which broke the record for the most entrants in history in a real money tournament. PokerStars then raised the entry cap to 17,500 and again easily met this cap and broke the world record again. For this Sunday's event, PokerStars went even further and allowed 20,000 entrants to register. Wouldn't you know it, all 20,000 showed up and a new record was set. Lin01 won the event and earned $20,000, which equates to more than 1,800 times her buy-in. The Sunday Million was also successful this weekend. PokerStars held the $500 buy-in version of the event last night and lured 3,021 entrants. The prize pool came to $1,510,500, the largest pool ever for the $500 buy-in version of the event. Let's take a look at the elimination hands of this event. In the first, Nazi Ha 66 open pushed all-in preflop, and Pittori called and showed pocket aces. Nazi Ha 66 was way behind with pocket fives, and the board bricked out. Nazi Ha 66 was out in 9th place. Notable internet player Fund My Audi then went out in the very next hand. He pushed all-in preflop against a raise from Plasticard, and Plasticard called and showed Queen 7 suited. Fund My Audi was well ahead with pocket aces until the river completed a flush for Plasticard. Fund My Audi's aces were cracked and he was out in 8th place. ASDF 2000 was out 15 minutes later when he raised all-in preflop and was called by Garbanzito. Garbanzito held Queen Jack and was trailing to ASDF 2000's Big Slick suited until the flop brought a queen. The pair of queens was enough to send ASDF 2000 to the virtual rail in 7th place. It was over a half hour before the next elimination hand took place. Zaston open pushed all-in preflop and was called by Pittori, who showed ace 10. Pittori was dominating Zaston's ace 8, and the flop further improved him when it brought a 10. Zaston was out in 6th place. The 5 remaining players paused the tournament 2 separate times in vain attempts to discuss possible chops. Plasticard nixed the first deal as the chip leader, and then became the short stack in time for the second deal-making session, in which Zutzman was the dissenting player. Play eventually continued. Plasticard then became the next player sent railward when he called for almost half of his stack preflop, and then called all in on a flop of 10-7-3 with just king high. LB6121 held pocket aces for a commanding lead in the hand, and Plasticard was sent packing when the turn and river brought blanks. He finished in 5th place. The 4 remaining players re-attempted deal-making discussions and finally agreed to a straight by-the-chips chop. LB6121 was the chip leader at the time and secured himself almost $158,000. Zutzman was the short stack and snagged a guaranteed $123,000. The 4 players were still playing to win $30,000, which was left in play per the PokerStars chopping rules. Garbanzito was the first player eliminated after the deal when he called all-in preflop against Pittori and showed pocket 7s. He found that he was dominated by Pittori's pocket 10s. The board bricked out and Garbanzito was eliminated in 4th. Zutzman vacuumed up chips for the next 25 minutes before the next elimination hand. LB6121 got all-in preflop with pocket 7s and Pittori called all-in and showed ace-queen. The flop paired both of Pittori's hold cards and he doubled up, leaving LB6121 with a short stack. LB6121 went all-in soon thereafter with ace-2 and was called by Pittori, who held queen 10 of spades. The turn completed a spade flush for Pittori to leave LB6121 drawing dead and out in 3rd place. Pittori had a 1.6-1 chip lead over Zutzman as the heads-up match began, but Zutzman took over the chip lead just 1 minute into the match. Zutzman pushed all-in preflop and Pittori called and showed ace-jack. Zutzman held pocket 9s and the board ran dry, leaving Pittori's ace-jack unimproved. Zutzman now had $22.3 million in chips versus Pittori's $7.9 million. 1 more minute brought the final hand. Zutzman pushed all in preflop and Pittori called and showed ace-8. Zutzman had a good lead with pocket kings as the board again failed to improve Pittori. Zutzman raked in the final pot of the tournament to snag the extra $30,000. His total winnings came to almost $153,000, which meant that LB 6121 was actually the leading money winner of the tournament with almost $158,000 in winnings. And now for the tournament over at Full Tilt. The Full Tilt $500,000 guaranteed tournament had 3,378 entrants on Sunday, which generated a prize pool of $675,600. Prominent poker player Jordan "I'm So Lucky" Morgan made the final table of the event, along with notable internet player Josh "Professor Plum" Prager. Prager made it to five-handed play before bowing out when he failed to triple up his extremely short stack. "I'm So Lucky" made it to heads-up play with Carabello. "I'm So Lucky" was just barely in second place and managed to overcome the small chip cap very quickly. He accumulated a respectable lead before taking another huge chunk out of Carabello in a big hand where he rivered a straight to best Carabello's flopped set. Carabello was down to just $1.4 million after the hand, compared to "I'm So Lucky"'s $8.7 million. The final hand was just 2 minutes later. A pre-flop raise fest resulted in "I'm So Lucky" pushing all in and Carabello calling all in and showing ace-queen suited. "I'm So Lucky" turned over pocket tens for the lead. The flop paired Carabello's queen, but gave "I'm So Lucky" a set of 10 to take down the pot and leave the table victorious. He earned $121,000 for winning the tournament. The Ultimate Bet $200,000 guaranteed tournament broke its own record on Sunday when 1,048 entrants bought in, the most the tournament has ever had. The previous record was for 1,010 entrants and was set on May 20th of this year. Last night's tournament had a prize pool of $209,600. A few notable players were still in the running when it got down to the final table, including Aaron "MTT Welfare" Bean and A the Kevlar 2. A the Kevlar 2 lost a tidy sum of chips when he called Far Alone's pre-flop all-in and showed pocket nines. Far Alone held ace-6 and spiked an ace on the river to severely cripple A the Kevlar 2. A the Kevlar 2 went out shortly thereafter when his Jack-10 failed to improve versus ace-5. MTT Welfare was easily the most aggressive player in four-handed play. In one hand, he called all-in pre-flop versus all-in Jumpa's all-in push. MTT Welfare showed pocket eights and was leading versus all-in Jumpa's ace-10 until the turn brought a 10. MTT Welfare was out in fourth place. The heads-up match was between Far Alone and all-in Jumpa. All-in Jumpa had a more than 2.5 to 1 chip advantage over Far Alone. Far Alone slowly increased his stack until he finally surpassed all-in Jumpa before the final hand. Far Alone pushed all-in pre-flop and all-in Jumpa called all-in and showed pocket jacks. Far Alone held pocket fives and was in bad shape. The river, however, brought a miracle 5 and Far Alone took down the tournament. He earned $46,112 for his finish. The Bodog $100,000 guaranteed tournament had 912 entrants on Sunday, more than both of its previous 2 weeks. The tournament required an $8,800 overlay to match the posted guarantee. John Pearl Jammer Turner barely missed making a second final table in a row, having won the tournament last weekend and coming in 11th this weekend. Notable internet pro Scott SC Trojans 08 also almost made the final table when he came in 10th place. Aaron Tsitsi Fly Kostrowski and Killer Kenny made it to heads-up play. Tsitsi Fly pushed all-in pre-flop and Killer Kenny called and showed ace-queen. Tsitsi Fly needed to improve his 7-6, and while the flop paired Killer Kenny, it also gave Tsitsi Fly an open-ended straight draw. The draw missed, however, and he was out in second place. Killer Kenny took down the final pot and won the $25,000 first-place prize. That's all for this week. Good luck on the digital felts, and thanks for watching the Online Zone on Card Player TV.